This is my observation for the appointment of the 11 cabinet secretaries. We have a professional hazard with the intelligence officers and other experts. I have had cases where people attack me for for the simple reason of just explaining the circumstances and the thinking of somebody. I have never justified anything. As an intelligence officer, you're not supposed to justify anything. You're just supposed to tell somebody, if you see somebody doing this ABCD, he's going to do ABCD. I mean, he has done ABCD. So the next thing he's going to do is EFGH. Now, when I tell you, it is just like your house. If I go around your fence and see an opening and I tell you, a thief will come and enter your house through here, it does not mean that I'm supporting the thief. Or if the thief steals through the way I've shown you, you don't have to go to the police station and say, Kwatenge said a thief will pass through here and a thief passed through. No. The reason why governments employ advisors is for us to give you scenarios. And when we give you scenarios, we can give you 3 or 4. It is upon you to swallow that information and do the needful. Occasionally, but we were taught not to encourage that. Occasionally, an influential person can ask you for the scenarios, and then when you have given him or her the scenarios, then him or her can ask you, were you in my position, what would you do? And that is when you tell. But in most cases, we just give out the scenario, we say this and that, we say this and that. It is because we are trained in that. As I said, this is the effect of the 11 CSS. And you must have noticed that days before the cabinet was announced, Rigathi Gachagua kept on commenting about the president creating a cabinet. Since independence, everybody knows it is the head of state who assigns cabinet positions. Well, of course, the vice president, being the first among the equals, could be asked to chip in or anything, but it is the mandate of the president. It is only twice, if you can correct me, it's only twice that the president has shared the responsibility of nominating cabinets and selecting cabinets. You remember when NAC came to rule, people started dashing to Kibaki's home, private home in Lavington. And journalists who were blocked by rec company from entering the home noticed that there were some files or envelopes which had been written cabinet selection recommendation by Honorable so and so. So those people who were trying to enter, those people who were entering there had files and envelopes where they were suggesting to Kibaki on whom to appoint as a cabinet minister, and on top of that, on what portfolio the cabinet person would do. But of course, Kibaki ignored that. The first time that there was consultation and some form of concurrence was during the 2007 after the general election. That is when some cabinet positions were given to the prime minister and some cabinet positions were given to the president. So that was the first time. The second time was when Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta came and they were wearing the same ties and shirts with Ruto, and they were interviewing people in there. Ruto participated in the decision of, however, even if it is 10% or 90%, but he somehow participated in the decision. If you ask me, at that time, Ruto was a co-president. He was a co-president. The only thing that Ruto did not have was the commander-in-chief, the presidential standard, and a few other things that are related to the head of state. But we could say that Uhuru was the head of state, but head of government were two, Uhuru and Ruto. That was 2013. That is the second and I think the last and the only time when anybody has participated. But you'll notice that Gachagua was all the time talking and giving hints. Tumwombee Mungu achague wale watu hawatamsumbua, wale watu hawana kiburi, watu hawana nini. That one. And also Mutahi, the governor for Nyeri, he was all the time saying that the president should appoint at least 8 people. Now 8 out of 22. That is more than 60%. No, that is more than 40%. I think he was talking of 47% of the votes that were cast for Ruto. So you can see we were being prepared psychologically for that. And then it comes that the 11 cabinet secretaries so far, 11 cabinet secretaries so far mentioned, 6 are from the mountain. By this I mean Kikuyu land, or can I say Gema? Yeah, from Gema. So you see, Mutai was not far. I was talking of 8, he got 6. That one, you can see that. And then when the whole cabinet is coming out, I am foreseeing the Meru or even, Meru and Embu, the two. I'm foreseeing the two losing it out. Of course, Japheth Koome is not a minister. We are seeing that the number of Meru ministers is reduced by 1. A clever plan was done where Meru had ministers and the AG. So the AG is removed. Then a Meru lady who was a minister, Miano is now an AG. So if they had 3, now they're going to have 2. So I'm half a Kikuyu, not just a half a Kikuyu. My mother came from the place where the military boss comes from. My mother came from a place where the acting inspector general came from. A few villages from Rigiji, a place called Kayaba. The Kikuyus have grabbed. There is that Karum that was given to Gema. Just as people are complaining that every tribe will have a reduced number in the cabinet, the Kikuyus have eaten into Gema. That one, I think I noticed that. I want to tell Kenyans that Gen Z, one of the major complaints of the Gen Z was that it was a bloated cabinet. You see, Gen Z have no structure. But from where I'm standing, I think if you were to ask Gen Z if we were to ask those young people, I think they would have wanted 15 cabinet members. But I'll tell you, coalition governments usually is bloated. Coalition governments are usually bloated. Why am I saying so? Uh, of course, Ruto is not happy. He has to let go some of his close people. And for this matter, one of the tribes, if you call them tribes, the tribes that will also lose out are the Kalenjins. Because he's reducing, yes, he's reducing the number. And he has to reduce from his place first. Because that is the only place where he can reduce without a risk of backlash in the next election. So Kalenjins expect to have a fewer number of cabinet secretaries. Kikuyus have a vice president, but then they have an increased. And the number that is going to benefit are Luhyas. Of course, that is my father's tribe. Now, don't tell me that the Kikuyus have been increased and the Luhyas have been increased, so I'm trying to talk about my two tribes. No. I said Kikuyus have increased because of the pushing of Mutai and Rigathi. Luhyas, there are some people who have been appointed. And you see, the people who have been appointed Luhya are experts. So, like the doctor who has been taken to the Ministry of Health. That is benefit from Akina, what do you call him? From the speaker, Papa Roma, Wetangula. Now, again, within the Luhya, you see, Raila has been given 7 positions. I mean, that is what we believe. Now, supposing it is true that Raila has been given 7, expect people like you saw Oparanya's wife, the way she talked during her brother-in-law. Oh, Oparanya, he has wives and girlfriends, but the eldest wife, the eldest wife said that she prepared us psychologically for her position. So expect people like Oparanya to get a cabinet position. That is meaning that ODM from Luhyas will gain from Papua Roma, and also Luhya will gain from people like Kina Oparanya. Most likely it's Oparanya, but well, you never know. So, since Raila has been given 7 positions and he wanted to retain 4 positions and give to the coalition 3 positions, you don't rule out the possibility that Kalonzo Musyoka is annoyed because the 3, it means that Kalonzo will have to eat into that. Munya, the former Minister for Agriculture, will have to eat into that. So you'll find that a tribe like Wakamba may lose because they are relying on only Wiper. But when you come to a tribe like Luhya, Papua Roma is this side, Oparanya, and somebody will come from the other side. That is why Luhyas will be more. That is what I'm trying to say. But then when this, then we have Luos. You have noticed that in this position, Luos who are in UDA, people like ICT, the fellow for ICT, he was very good and he was very efficient. But those are what we call collateral damage we are going to have. He's so close to, he's in that group of people who are anti-Raila in Luo land. And you see, for him to be, Eri Owalo, yeah, he's Owalo. For him to be retained, it means that we will also start counting how many Luos are there. How many Luos are there? So if UDA appoints Owalo as a minister, and then Raila out of the 4, he appoints 2 to be Luo, then Luos will have a lot of ministers. So it is people like Owalo may lose from being a cabinet minister for the simple reason that position for Luos will be taken up by people close to Raila. And you see Raila, when he's taking out of the 7 positions, if he's to take 4, there is a Luo called, what do you call? This Marehani, not Marehani, this Gareb or Ria, Junet Mohammed. You know, Junet Mohammed could be there, plus 2 other Luos, or even 1, 2 Luos, and then you had there the former governor of Mombasa, 001. So that is how it is going to affect that. That is how it is going to affect that. You can see, if you want to read it to Ruto's position, and you see I've not changed my mind. I'm just saying if you want to read Ruto's position. You see, the problem we have in Kenya or in the world is we don't learn from history. We don't learn that from history. Kibaki used to complain that when he was being undermined when he was the vice president, isn't it? Ruto used to complain. But then, no human being likes anybody who demands ransom. I'm looking for the word, but I can't find it. Who looks for ransom? If you have supporters and you go to the president and tell him, if you don't do this to me and you don't do this to me, I'll withdraw my supporters. He will do that, but he will hate you. He will hate you. So that one is also happening now. That if you look at this, the position that Ruto is in, maybe 3 weeks ago, you would have said Ruto is a one-term president. But now you have given him another opportunity to go for the second term unopposed. Unopposed in quotes. Why am I saying so? Kikuyus have been taken care of. You see, Uhuru Kenyatta had 2 thick-headed people. He had Raila to handle. He had Ruto to handle. And according to Uhuru's reasoning, is that Ruto was the lesser of the 2 devils. So he ignored Ruto and concentrated on Raila. The rest, they say, is history. Now, what Ruto is doing in this cabinet and in anything he's doing between now and 2027, he is campaigning for 2027. And you see, if there is any Kenyan who can campaign from the day after the swearing in, there are 2, Raila and Ruto. So you have given Ruto this Gen Z. If Ruto is elected in 2027, blame yourselves, because Ruto has just listened to or has appeared to follow what Mutai and Rigiji are wanting. So in Central Province, what Ruto needs is only to control his young followers, Kina Ndindi Nyoro. But the way I understand is Ndindi Nyoro, if they are told to keep quiet by Ruto, they keep quiet. So it is only safeguard Central or the mountain. That is why Merus and Embus are losing. Kikuyus, concentrate on Kikuyus. Then Rift Valley, Kamatusa, Kalenjins is okay, taken care of. Masais, the lady has been retained in the same ministry. So we can say Rift Valley is safe. Take Central, take Rift Valley. Luos, he has taken care, not Luos, Luhyas. Luhyas has taken care of Luhyas in 2 ways. He has taken care of Luhyas through Papua Roma. My DVD is just happy being a super cabinet secretary and also cabinet secretary for everything. But then I don't blame my DVD, because even in his own village, they don't like him. And on 2028, I doubt whether, I think he'll just make a Honda retirement. So Luhyas are taken care of through Wetangula, Bukusuland. And then Kakamega is going to be taken care of by Kina Oparanya. So you can see Ruto has pocketed Mountain. He has pocketed Western through Papua Roma and through Oparanya. Luo Nyanza, he has taken over. And let me tell you, in a fair fight, leave alone this thing about OAU Secretary General. Forget about it. In a fair fight where Raila doesn't talk and Luos are told to choose between Ruto and Kalonzo, I can guess they'll vote for Ruto. But you see, in addition to that, Ruto has already supported Raila to go to African Union. Jinsia trying to talk to the African Union to withdraw the candidate of Raila. Raila can only get out of that place because of two things: a sudden ill health, like that one of Biden, or being called by God. But this thing, just get it from me, Raila is going to get the OAU chairmanship, the OAU Secretary General, which nowadays is called African Union Executive Chairman. So what Ruto is doing is he has taken care of Central, let me not talk of the mountain, Central, Luhya land, Luo land, and Rift Valley. Now tell me, you heard of Kagame getting 98%, isn't it? Yeah? So that is what is going to happen. You can see out of the remaining 11, 7 has been given to Raila. But you see, even if Raila reaches a place, unless Raila calls if Raila calls a press conference and says, these are my nominees, these are the Azimia nominees, he can change his mind anytime, isn't it? But if he doesn't change his mind and does whatever, you see, he's been given 7 positions. He will do his balancing. He has to take care of Luhya by giving them 1 post, give Luo 3, then Ukambani, Coast, and whatever. I can tell you that is the hardest thing, being given 7. But then, you remember these are 11 remaining. So 4 are with Ruto still. It is after Ruto has received the list of Raila that he will use the 4 position now to balance. Maybe Raila has appointed 1 Mukamba. Then, the former government spokesman can ponea there. But you see, former government spokesman, he has been forgotten. I've even forgotten his name here. I'm sure the musician would be happy to hear that from me. So that is how it is going to be balanced. And as I've said, and I continue repeating, saying, my saying so should not be associated with me, JI-TENGE the person. It should be associated with me as JI-TENGE the political analyst. Thank you.